Welcome! If you're watching this, we hope you are a member of a source system or boundary system team. A source or boundary system is any system used by a department in UCLA that will exchange financial information with Oracle Financials Cloud, such as UCPath or billing and receivables. As we begin upgrading our financial system and utilizing the Oracle Financial Cloud structure, the process of extracting data will require a significant amount of data cleansing. Data cleansing will improve the quality and integration for increased efficiency in the new system and improves the likelihood of a successful and smoother transition. We compiled a list of 8 possible points of data cleansing that you and your team should use. Simply jump to the chapter head in the description below to skip ahead, or watch the series in its entirety. This video provides an overview of each exercise, covering the most common examples. We strongly encourage you to visit the resources in the description of this video for more detailed and thorough examples, including additional scripts and calls that will be invaluable to your team. Oracle Go Live is scheduled for December 2024 and milestones can be seen on the Ascend 2.0 roadmap, linked in the description below. Leading up to Go Live, you will work with the Ascend 2.0 technical team to ensure your source system's data is cleansed. Data cleansing will be an iterative exercise, and over time we hope to resolve as many errors as possible within your source system's data. There are 4 steps in the data cleansing cycle. 1. As a source system team, you will submit data to the Ascend 2.0 technical team that will be loaded into Oracle. 2. After the data is loaded, you will receive a summary report. This summary report will contain the number of records in the source data that was submitted, the number of records that were successfully loaded into Oracle, and the number of records that failed to be loaded. 3. Using the report, identify the records that failed to be loaded and correct them using one of the data cleansing activities outlined in this video. 4. Finally, you will resubmit the data with the flagged records corrected or removed from the dataset. Let's look at an example of a summary report for data submitted about grants personnel. Here we can see there was 65,976 records submitted. Of those records, 65,968 were successfully validated in Oracle. That means there are 8 records that failed a validation and must be corrected using a data cleansing activity or removed from the dataset before it is resubmitted to the technical team. Now we will take a look at the 8 different data cleansing activities that may help you resolve issues in your source system data. A common issue in data systems is duplicate entries. This can be easily caused when we accidentally do one or more of the following. Enter data more than once. There's a glitch or bug in the system causing multiple sends or calls. Or when collating records. This occurs during integration efforts with other systems. When trying to consolidate these entries, first identify key fields you plan to use that are unique to the entry, like a primary key. Then search for duplicate entries in a single column, like person ID, that returns multiple results. You can remove entries by keeping the one with the last occurrence by using the row number with the lowest ID number or with the most recent date. Note, you shouldn't worry about entries that are part of inactive projects since they won't have transactions against them in Oracle. These are obsolete or inactive records. Please see the data cleansing activities document in the description below for more examples and search options for duplicate entries. Obsolete or inactive records are also commonly found when cleaning up databases. This happens when records haven't been engaged with over time. Their details get outdated, like contact info, or we establish policies that prevent continuing business with them. When trying to clean these entries, look for examples of inactive records not used in over 10 years. In the scenario where you find a record with no recent activity, You could remove this data altogether, or you can simply flag this record as inactive so it doesn't get extracted into Oracle. We recommend doing queries for records added prior to January of last year and take a look at any records without updates in the last 6 months. You can then flag or delete these rows. Incomplete records may also need some attention. These might be records that are missing crucial data fields for transactions, records that contain blank or placeholder information that is inconsistent with values needed to both record transactions and produce reliable reports about them. For example, let's say we find a record with a blank value in the place of the record's email address. You can do a search for records where the field is null. After identifying the row, you can resolve this record by deleting it entirely. Or you can complete this section using any contact information that is available or use another source system to update manually. Note, make sure to validate that the new information comes from active users and accounts to avoid creating the next data entry issue on our list. Rows may contain inactive team members, which should flag them for a close review of its details. Oracle will need active project managers listed to be effective. Either their employment status has changed by transferring within the organization. Contacts may be on leave temporarily for short or longer durations like pregnancy leave or FMLA. Status may change upon the completion of a project that used their position on a contract basis. And some have just left the organization. Let's find an entry with a team member who has left the organization. We recommend searching for team members without activity in the last 6 months. You can then fix their status by setting them to inactive. This is a simplistic solution and may not be the best method for your system. You should validate the team member's reasons for inactivity in order to prevent disruption in team operations. Costs, capitalization, and project budgets will need to undergo various activities to ensure data accuracy, consistency, and reliability. Let us summarize each. Costs represent monetary values or expenses incurred with goods, services, or activities in an organization. Capitalization refers to the process of treating certain expenses as investments or assets rather than immediate costs. Project budgets represent the planned financial allocation or estimation of costs for a specific project or initiative. As far as data cleansing is concerned, consider validating and verifying this data with supporting documents, standardizing the format and structure of each, rectify errors, outliers, or anomalies. Integrate this data with other relevant financial and operational sources. Maintain proper documentation and an audit trail of your processes. Let's use capitalization and search for the capitalization table. Here you can update and set capitalized amounts directly in the source system. You can also search for and adjust values for costs and project budgets with a similar query. Make sure that you enter values in a standardized format, complete with codes and identifiers so your data aligns with others. Standardization or reformatting data will create a more consistent and uniform structure. This includes adjusting how we write dates, currency, and numbers, normalizing names to title cases, standardizing units of measurement, expanding abbreviated fields, standardizing addresses by breaking out their components and conforming to postal standards, mapping and/or consolidating multiple code systems and removing duplicate or inconsistent codes and applying naming conventions or guidelines for use of codes, structuring data in ways that improve integration and interoperability. When standardizing or reformatting any of the above, remember to keep in mind the first 4 data cleansing tips. Meet with your team to discuss some standardization rules. Let's say you want to do this for the way addresses are written. Make sure that the rules you or your team create reflect a convention that can be used across the system. Make those rules available outside of the system. Include procedures that contain clear instructions on how to apply the standardization rules. handle exceptions, and address data anomalies. Try using the following queries to search for strings using regexp _ for fields that don't match your current format. You can then update those fields that don't match. Here are some tips. Remove blank or white spaces and special characters. This will improve your structure's use across systems. Some transactions simply contain invalid data. Some examples include inconsistent values in fields, missing or partially incomplete data, outliers like irregular sums, and/or redundant fields that may be obsolete or outdated. In the example of incorrect data values, such as alphabetic characters in a numeric field, you can use a find data type that violates a pattern you set. Then you can update the field. Some records may contain oddities that don't fit within regular datasets. This may include outliers that deviate based on a single attribute like employee age, or those that deviate based on multiple variations due to the relationship between two fields. To find some of these outliers, it may be necessary to use z-scores. In the case of employee age, you can search for any employees that have an age or birth date yielding an age greater than 100. Then contact Guinness Records with the results. Thank you for watching our video on data cleansing activities. We hope this video is useful for you and your team as you begin preparing your source system data for conversion. If you have any questions, please refer to the Conversion Preparation Data Cleansing Activities resource linked in the description below.